Hi, welcome to the Best Cooking Show. I'm your host today, Joey Quibido, with Cash Shaver and Piggly Wiggly here in Opelousas.
I'm Chef Jason Uday from Steamboat Warehouse in Washington, Louisiana. And today we have a very special guest, good friend of ours, Colt Patin, who's been on the show a bazillion times. So we're here at the Herb Aisle, well, Herbs and Seasonings. He's going to be making for us an alligator sauce piquante, Joey. So he sent me an ingredients list. We're going to pick up a few things for him. But let's start with his fresh herbs that he has on the ingredients list.
Okay.
We have fresh thyme, which we're going to have to get some for the show.
Okay.
We have ground thyme here at Cash Shaver. We also have dried thyme leaves. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of the dried thyme leaves.
Okay.
And
I think, Jason, the other thing you mentioned on the recipe list was bay leaves.
bay leaves, yes.
We do have some bay leaves right here that we're going to bring to Colt and let him put in his recipe.
So now we're on the hot sauce aisle, which is, Joey, it's one of my favorite things, is hot sauce. We're in Louisiana. So I'm not really sure what's like specific one he asked for. He doesn't mention it on the recipe. So I think we're just gonna pick one of our own.
Okay. We've got all kinds of different things.
One of my favorites is Louisiana hot sauce.
Louisiana, okay.
Which you have up there. And another one of my favorites is the Crystal hot sauce.
Crystal?
To me, they're not as hot or as spicy. They're more of the vinegar type flavor you're looking for. And then again, you have all the Tabascos, you have the Chipotle, you have habanero, which I would be afraid to use. I don't like spice that much.
I like spice.
And also, one of my favorites is the green Tabasco or the other brands. That's a little milder, but better flavor. So let's
go to Crystal.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain to everybody the difference between the oils that we have for this here?
Well, there's so many different types of oil that you have right here. You have canola oil, you have corn oil, you have regular vegetable oil. Basically, which you also do have olive oil, which is right on the right of it. Every type of oil has a different smoke point. Some of them are used for flavor, mostly like olive oil. Vegetable oil is the one you really want to go with as far as an overall oil, and you don't really want to add too much flavor to the dish, like corn oil and stuff like that. So basically your vegetable oil, that's why you're going to use it, because it's more of a neutral, kind of flavor. So
okay, so we need to bring vegetable oil. Let's try Louisiana, since it's a local product. We pick up some tasso for our Colt. It's part of the recipe. We have several different kinds. You got the turkey, you got pork. It just depends on what you prefer.
What use you're gonna have for the day, like what you're trying to make, what's your recipe, what's your dish gonna be, what the final product you want it to taste like. Turkey would be more lean, something like that. So that's more of a specialty kind of thing.
Okay, Colt said he needed what, pork or turkey?
Pork tasso.
Pork tasso, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's bring him some Savoi's pork tasso.
Another local product.
Another local product, right. I really use this a lot in my recipes, especially for my fettuccine and stuff. So
I do too, and at Steamboat I use it in a lot of different aspects. So let's go with that one, and let's go meet Colt and get to cooking.
You got it.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here again, as we said before, our good friend of ours, Chef Colt Patin, and he's going to be making for us some alligator sauce piquante. Colt, how are we going to begin our dish?
Okay, so we're going to start off with the roux. I've got some duck fat right here, so we're going to put a little bit of duck fat.
All
right.
Were introduced to duck fat a couple of shows ago,
All right. I fell in love with duck fat in the restaurant business, rendering out the duck fat and getting that high intense heat. It's got really good flavor.
Man, the flavor is to me, that and bacon fat is like the top of the chain.
I'll use this at home to make a duck fat grilled cheese. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna add some flour. And I'm basically gonna go ahead and brown the flour and make a nice brown roux. Slowly, just kind of stir it, let it brown. Sauce piquante's a little spicy, but its characteristics of brown gravy with a little bit of a reddish tint to it from the tomato. Sauce piquante is one of my favorite things to make just because of the depth of flavor that it has. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil, butter to make your roux if you don't have duck fat lying around. But I had a student, a graduate actually, bring me 3 quarts of duck fat as a little
Really?
gift.
Wow.
So that's why we're having duck fat roux.
What better gift to give to the chef?
Right.
Duck fat.
Here's a jar of duck fat.
Right, here you go. Yeah, you brought tears of joy to my eyes. So I was like, great.
I would cry too. A good cry.
Yeah. So I'm back at LCI, Louisiana Culinary Institute. We're off of Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. And I left there for a little while to help out a graduate, kind of get his restaurant up and running. But I miss teaching. I miss getting that bond with the students. So I'm back, and I've got a few events going on, and just kind of slowly working it.
A few events look to me like you had a slew of.
Right.
And LCI is a really, really good institute for teaching cooking and everything else. And we got a lot of different good programs over there.
A couple of programs. We've got a savory program where you're going to basically come in and take sanitation, knife skills, basics, bake shop, sauce making. And we're kind of training future chefs to go out and open up their own restaurants and become successful.
Not to just be a chef, but to be able to be a business owner and own your own restaurant.
Right.
Correct.
The whole thing.
Correct. We have a bacon and pastry program that it's really awesome. They'll start off with basic breads, and they're going to end up with a showpiece with sugar and chocolate, and it's a really good program.
And stuff, huh?
Definitely.
Well, Colt, tell us about one of your events that you got coming up.
So, the reason why we're making alligator sauce piquante is because I'm going to be serving this at the ACF New Orleans banquet dinner. ACF New Orleans chapter, they have their best chefs event, and they
I actually saw that on Facebook.
They choose a number of chefs between legends, up-and-coming chefs, pastry chefs, and restaurant chefs, and I was one of them that was selected. And I had to submit a couple of recipes, and really love boudin stuffed chicken, so I submitted that
Me
one,
too.
and then the
Boudin stuff, anything.
right,
Yeah.
and then the alligator sauce piquant. They actually chose alligator sauce piquant, so I was like, all right, great, because it's a good depth of flavor, and I've got to prep it for 400 people. I'm going to give a shout out to Jude Miguet with Miguet Swamp Tours. I got all the alligator from him, fresh from the basin, so it was a good thing to get.
Nice, yeah, definitely.
That's good.
Very nice.
So
when actually is this going to be held?
it's Tuesday, April 12th at Lakefront Airport in New Orleans. You can go on the ACF New Orleans website and purchase tickets. There's going to be a number of chefs from Philip Lopez from Root, New Orleans, a couple of chefs from Lafayette, all over kind of participating. And it's a charity-based fundraiser. It's a great organization. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be bringing a couple of my students with me to kind of help serve.
Experience, man. Experience.
Definitely.
Exactly,
Just kind of network and rub elbows. So our roux is getting nice and brown. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my onion, bell pepper, celery, garlic, and jalapeno pepper. I'm going to put a little bit of jalapenos to kind of get me a little bit of that beginning of the heat. Okay.
I like heat. I like a lot of heat.
The vegetables are going to slow down the roux from over darkening or over cooking.
Slowing the coloring process.
You got to have a low heat because you don't want to burn the roux and have little specks.
It'll burn on you quick.
Right.
Yes,
If
very
you're
nice.
going to use already made roux, a couple of tablespoons of already made roux with the vegetables, just like here, would work just fine. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of garlic, and we're just going to let this cook for a little bit.
Well, all the ingredients that you see here today, you can get at your local Piggly Wiggly and
Or Cash Saver Store, yeah. 2 locations here in Opelousas.
1305 Heather Drive. But if you don't want to, if you have a question or whatever and you want to call us first, call us at 948-8199.
That's right.
Or the North Store, 8410 Highway 182 North. Call us there at 948-9427.
Dang, you doing good, Jason.
I did my homework. Last show, did my homework last show.
A little bit of thyme, a little bit of bay leaf to kind of give us some herbs and some good depth of flavor. I'm going to go ahead.
Everything you're adding is adding dips or stages of flavor.
And you notice I just didn't add everything all at once.
time,
You're kind of letting those flavors kind of develop on their own. All right, I'm using a nice little gumbo paddle for. You never want to use any metal with cast iron. You don't want to scratch that non-stick
Wood
coating.
spoon.
Gonna go and throw in some fresh diced tomatoes. Gonna give us a little bit of moisture. I'm gonna add a little bit of some Cajun seasoning.
Yeah.
All right.
Right here, Steamboat.
Yep, steamboat. Let's
can have a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Let's open it up right here.
Well, Colt, not to get off the subject, but I do know that there's a special organization that you and your wife have together.
Right.
Heartstrings
and Angel Wings, a nonprofit organization. It was kind of created in honor of my son Heath.
Many years ago, right?
Yep. Over 8 years ago. He was born 16 weeks early, 1 pound 7 ounces. We just had our 8th annual gumbo cook-off in March. We had a rainy year. We still had some good success. We had close to 2,000 people in the park in Henderson supporting a great cause.
Yes, definitely a great cause.
You know, you can visit our website, heartstringsandangelwings.org.
And basically, tell everybody exactly what the organization does.
Basically, it's a nonprofit organization that makes micro-preemie clothing and other items, and we donate them to local hospitals. We're about 4 hospitals right now. We have a number of volunteers that meet once a month, and it's at my mom's house. We break out the sewing machines, and we have some really good food. And we make the clothing and little loveys and micro preemie hats and different things that the families. And we donate them to hospitals for the families to use.
Nice.
When we were in the hospital, it gave us comfort, having Build-A-Bear clothes to kind of dress our son.
Right.
I remember.
Well, you can tell us more about that in just a few minutes, Colt. We're going to join us back for more What's Cooking in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the What's Cooking Show, everybody. Again, we have Colt Patin with us from LCI, which is the Louisiana Culinary Institute in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Correct.
And which is a nice culinary school for everybody to, you know, if you're interested in wanting to learn the culinary phase of,
associate's degree program, 16 months. But for the home cooks, you want to kind of come in and take a little one-day course. We have leisure classes.
Wow, that's
and
nice.
I usually do Cajun Creole inspired leisure classes. So you don't necessarily have to come for the full 16 months, but you can come in and learn a one-day class. I'm adding the alligator into the sauce piquant. We're just going to let this slowly cook, add a little bit more stock, and usually I'll let this go for a couple hours just to develop the flavor.
Slow.
While the alligator sauce piquant is cooking, we're going to start on our corn mac choux, because you can't have just sauce piquant by itself. So a little bit more duck fat.
Duck
All
fat.
right, duck fat.
Do you mind if I smell this?
Yeah.
It just gets my.
Well, I'll leave that here at the steamboat.
Yeah,
for you. You can have it.
I'd appreciate it.
All right. Some LCI house-made bacon.
Ooh, that's some slab bacon there, buddy.
You can do tasso if you wanted, sausage. We had our charcuterie class just made some bacon, which was fantastic. All right. So we're basically going to start to brown the bacon, kind of crisp it up a little bit.
Some slab bacon, that's like my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Cut it in big chunks. All that sliced stuff and chunky stuff.
All right. And then we're going to go ahead and add our onion, bell pepper, celery, or Holy Trinity. All right. And notice that this is kind of a medium dice. I kind of like it a little large. It takes a little while for it to cook down, and it gives off a little bit more texture.
Ooh, that smell alone of the bacon and the onion.
So while that's cooking, I'm going to put a little bit of thyme, dry thyme, and a bay leaf. So we're going to let this cook and kind of get some of the flavors going. Okay.
So, Coach, you do have a couple other events that are coming up. Why don't you tell us about that?
All right, so I have a good friend, Paul Ayo, with East Kitchen in Lafayette, and he's kind of spearheading the Louisiana Hot Sauce Expo. He's kind of helping as one of the sponsors, and they're going to be doing some cooking demos. So, me from Louisiana Culinary Institute, I'm going to go in and do the demo. One of the demos I'm going to do is alligator sauce piquant. Kind of ties in with everything that's going on with the show and New Orleans chapter ACF.
Yeah, and some people put hot sauce in their sauce piquant.
Yeah, and hot sauce works really well. So Saturday, it's Saturday and Sunday, April 16th and 17th at the Black and Coliseum.
That's
I think
next weekend.
tickets are only like $8, so it's
No, that's cheap.
and there's all kind of stuff going on. You can go in and taste hot sauce, different vendors.
That sounds like an event for Joseph Quibido.
Sounds good to me.
Right.
I'm going.
He's a hot sauce man, yeah. He probably would eat a hot sauce sandwich.
So Saturday, I'm going to do alligator sauce piquant. I'm going to give it a little spicier. I'm going to add some hot sauce to it. And then Sunday, chicken and andouille stir fry.
There
So
you go.
Cajun Creole themed melting pot of flavors, kind of that. We're gonna take a sweet and spicy pepper jelly.
Pepper.
And so there you go. You're gonna have all kind of depths of flavor. So.
Jason, a hot sauce sandwich? Seriously?
Yeah, okay, you take 3 slices of white bread and you
Three?
take well no yeah.
Okay.
You take one of the 3 and you soak it in like you're making bread pudding where you soak the bread
Oh, French toast.
and hot sauce.
Right.
And then you just put that in between 2 slices of bread.
Let's try it.
You don't need no meat, no mayo, no mustard. You could put it on there, but you don't.
Yeah.
I'm not for me, I'm talking about for you. Right? Because the guy loves red pepper.
Right.
Did you like your steak the other night? Because
I loved it.
I put the straight red pepper to it hard, just to make sure. Like
You
I
could
mean,
put a bit more.
I figured that too.
Right.
A
You
little
know
6
me,
ounce steak. I
hot,
put
hot.
probably a good tablespoon just cayenne pepper on his steak.
Right. Well,
He knows I like hot.
hey, you can't go wrong with a little spice.
Yeah.
When I see that ticket come to the kitchen, I ask my West service, is Joey and Paula here? Yep. I said, I know that's his ticket right there.
Right. So
And it
when-
was wonderful. It was a nice steak with crawfish etouffee on top.
Louisiana
Oh,
crawfish
yeah.
we're getting right now.
Oh, it
so
was-
beautiful, man.
Unbelievable.
It's a little, they call it the pub steak, a chuck pub steak. It's delicious.
Definitely.
So I added some diced tomatoes to give us a little acidity and some minced garlic, kind of give us some depth of flavor. And I've got some corn, whole kernel corn going in.
It's my kind of mock shoe right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna let this kind of cook down a little bit.
Nice.
Add a little stock as needed. The stock is a little seafood stock I made last night. Crab shells, shrimp shells to kind of tie in with the
It smells
alligator
so good.
flavor. You know, you can use stock.
Smell it.
It's better to use stock than just water. It kind of
Yes,
gives you
yes.
more
Always.
flavor.
You're adding flavor instead of plain water.
You know,
too.
but if you don't have any stock lying around, you can use water. You can use the broth you can
You
buy at
must.
the store.
That's correct.
And so to make a stock is basically shells. So I use some crab shells
Just
I had in the freezer.
Or shrimp peelings.
Shrimp peelings, and I just let it simmer with a little bit of vegetables for about 20, 30 minutes. And then we were good to go. Strain it.
Not hard.
Not hard at all.
Just need to get
Just
the
like this
shell.
recipe is not hard.
Yeah, right.
And if you want to copy this recipe, you can go to our website, kdcg.com, click on the What's Cooking Show, and all the recipes are right there.
Definitely.
Right?
Sure is.
Okay. Just want to make sure you were up with me, Jason.
Sure it is.
Gonna hit it with a little bit of our Cajun seasoning to kind of give us a little bit more flavor.
There you go.
There you go. Humidity kind of makes a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll season this up a little bit more as well. Perfect.
Never can
Alright.
have too much seasoning.
No.
Not for me. No.
No.
Jason disagrees
I
with it.
should have brought the
Mr.
cayenne
Spice.
pepper.
Mr. Spice.
That's okay. I could always add more if I
Right.
want.
But depending on which smoked meat you add, you know, tasso, heavily
Some of them may have
spiced
seasons
ham,
on it already.
you know, some andouille sausage has a little kick to it. Chorizo, you can use any type of smoked meat and would work really well. And then just let this cook for 20 minutes and it's ready to go.
But I'll tell you what,
Nice.
we're gonna let it cook for well, not 20 minutes, but a few minutes.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll come right back and we'll have our last segment.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Again, we have Colt Patin with us here from LCI in Baton Rouge, and he's finishing up his alligator sauce pecan
correct.
and corn mock choux for us
Corn
today.
mock choux. One more event that we're going to talk. I went ahead through the magic of TV. We switched over.
Boom.
Had one that I cooked a little while for. You can see it's a little darker than this one. It takes some time as it cooks down.
And
it's
the meat
gonna
looks
get
real
darker,
tender.
really tender. Alligator broke down perfectly. Corn mock choux simmering away. I'm going to throw in a little bit of green onions in both, kind of give us a little crunch, and then we're going to garnish our green onion as well. One of the last events that we'll talk about is Louisiana Culinary Institute. We have a nonprofit called the LCI Foundation. It helps with need-based scholarships. So we have an event coming up called Gourmet in the Garden. This is where we take graduates and chefs around the area, put them together in a farm-to-table competition.
There it is.
It's over at the LSU Ag Center Botanic Gardens off of at Burden, off of Essen Lane. Tickets are, I think, $60 on Eventbrite. You can go to lci.edu's website for a ticket and information. But it's all the ticket sales go towards the LCI Foundation. You're going to have one night with dozen chefs kind of competing, bringing their best dishes forward, farm to table, live music,
Sweet.
good drinks. You can't beat a night like that, just to kind of go out, and it's Friday, April 22nd.
Good food, drinks, and music.
Definitely.
Wow, nice.
Right. So we have some alligator sauce pecan, like I said, has been cooking down. Joe, you want to go ahead
Sure.
and we're going to have some long grain rice we'll put on a plate. And then we'll kind of smother this with a little bit of our alligator sauce pecan and corn mac choux. Just again, a couple of events. We have the ACF Baton Rouge Best Chefs. We also have the Hot Sauce Festival. You can come out April 16th and 17th to kind of come and try some really good hot sauce.
It's next weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. And then we have the Gourmet in the Garden, which is a farm-to-table competition in Baton Rouge. You can't ask for a better event with a bunch of chefs competing and bringing the really good food. And, I know my students will be out there doing appetizers and helping compete and helping the other chefs. So we'll throw a little bit of corn mac choux.
Yeah, this is delicious.
And also, Cole, just to tell people one more time about Heartstrings and Angel Wings.
Heartstrings and Angel Wings, a nonprofit organization that makes micro-preemie clothing. We donate them to local hospitals. You can go to heartstringsandangelwings.org for more information if you want to volunteer, donate products. We just had a wedding dress drive. People are donating old wedding dresses to the organization, and our volunteers, they'll take those and make bereavement gowns. It's for a sad cause because the baby passes away, but
it's for a good cause.
It's a good cause because it's a beautiful gown that was made. We have some of the best volunteers in the world. They come in and they'll make the clothing, and we have a good time.
Like I said, it's a unique organization.
Right.
Definitely.
And then Louisiana Culinary Institute off the Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, lci.edu. For the home cook, if you want to come in and take some leisure classes. We also do corporate team building.
There's so many people out there that want to do that. They don't want to go to culinary school, but they want to know some basics of the culinary world.
Team buildings are fun because a company will bring in 20, 30 of their employees, and they'll put them in a little competition setting where they're going to have a menu, and they're working, dicing, chopping, cooking, plating up. The instructors are kind of guiding them along the way. There's an award ceremony for first place, second place, and third place.
Come on.
And it's a great thing for companies to do something different.
That's fun.
You know, it's not just let me fall behind and you catch me. Let's work together and create a good, memorable food and experience.
And learn from it.
Definitely.
We're talking about really good food. This is a beautiful, wonderful plate that he's prepared for us today. Nice alligator sauce pecan and corn mac choux.
It looks delicious.
Thank
you. Want to come out and try it, you can come and see me at Saturday at the Hot Sauce Festival. I'll be preparing the same dish.
Same dish, that's right. Well, Colt, thank you so much for coming with us on the show again today.
Always a pleasure having you, Colt.
It's always a pleasure to have you. And thank y'all for watching the What's Cooking Show. And if y'all want to be a guest chef here on the show, you can contact Delta Media in Karen Crow and schedule something with Miss Kathy, and we'll be glad to have you on the show.
Or call me up here at Steamboat.
Oh, yeah.
337-826-7227. Almost forgot the number.
You forgot that number?
I almost forgot the number because I got tongue twisted.
All right.
But if you need any ingredients.
That's right. You can go either Piggly Wiggly store or Cash Saver here in Opelousas. 2 locations.
1305 Heather Drive is a Cash Saver location. It's 948-8199 or 8410 Highway 182 North. Call us at 948-9427.
I'm going to have to talk to Kevin about you.
I need a paycheck.
Yeah, you're right. And thank y'all for watching the What's Cooking Show, and join us back next week.